Hey there everyone, it's me, Sasuke125 here. Just doing a little test video. Probably this might go on YouTube or not. I don't know, who cares. Anyway, it's been a while and I'm just sort of bored in 12 o'clock in the morning. I decided to do this thing as a little possible series on YouTube or whatever, called webcomic reviews. You guys probably were familiar with my review of Chuck Austin's U.S. War Machine, the aka that one Marvel Max story where it's sort of black and white and it's kind of has a manga-esque aesthetic to it. But anyway, that was a pretty good story, and that video was made a few years ago and shit. Anyway, I thought I would try to do a little bit something different when it comes to say, webcomics instead of regular comics and shit. I probably might do a few regular comics here and there. But anyway, today's comic we're going to be taking a look at is from the user Swainart on deviantart.com. Note, go and check out their DeviantArt, and their artwork is really good, by the way. I really love their stuff. Also, they're doing commissions, so this is kind of a free sponsorship video, so, just pointing that out there. Anyway, so I'm taking a look at one of their early webcomics they did, and here's a funny thing about this webcomic. This webcomic started off as a fanfic project before it became an original work. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, what series is this based off of? Or was based off of? Well, it was based off the famous Nickelodeon series The Loud House back within 2016 to currently running, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, one of the more infamous stories was called The Secret, which, again, name is very similar to this, and this was originally based off of that fan comic. Yeah, this comic right here, well, webcomic, was based off another fan fiction based off a children's cartoon on Nickelodeon. So anyway, a little bit interesting tidbit about the Loud House fandom is that let's just say some of the fan art and fan stuff can be, well, quite interesting. But anyway, there was this other story called The Secret, not this one, that had let's just say Luna Loud, the rock star chick, kind of going a little bit yandere-ish, and let's just say she really wanted Lincoln Senpai's attention way more than normal. Yeah, that was another thing when it came to some fan works, is that they would betray the sisters as a little bit, well, unsavory. But anyway, I'm going to be taking a look at... So when this person, Swainart, was making this comic, originally the characters were the characters from the TV show, Lincoln Loud and Luna, and Lenny. But then they decided, you know what, I should turn this into an original story and have it deviate from the original fanfic this was based off of. Again, really confusing stuff, I know. But anyway, time for me to get started. Also, as a little side note, this person went back 2 years ago recently to add more say, extra pages to the first issue, I guess, or first chapter. So, but this is where it starts. So anyway, the story starts off with Dominique, let's just say this is in the middle of a fight. Spoilers, the fight, let's just say it's not pretty, and you will probably see it later on throughout this story. But anyway, so there's some screaming, Neek, don't, and then she's all you You should have just killed me. And I really love this art panel right there. Just the look and expression and also the bloody details. Really nice. Anyway, so okay, this is like the some of the added pages right here. So it's like this took place earlier in the day, flashback to like okay, this is when the parents are like going to go out to like some trip or something and they'll be gone for like several hours. And then you see Tristram, aka well, Link, totally not Lincoln Loud. And Charlotte is supposed to be kind of like what, you know, this story's version of Lenny. Anyway, he has like a bored expression right there. And just like, oh yeah. And just like the parents from like the Loud House, Read Aloud, and Lynn Sr., like in the earlier, like first season or two, you never really see their faces. It's usually just cropped off, kind of like how in Cow and Chicken, but instead of that, it's just more like their faces are just scrubbed up. Like you can still see the rest of their bodies, so they're just grabbing some supplies for an overnight little trip or something for like a concert. And oh yeah, and also like, you know, Lynn Senior Espy right here is packing some like extra snacks because trust me, when you go to a concert or any huge event, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg, not just for tickets, but just for food in general. I know it's a bit of a pain in the ass if you ask me, but hey, whatever. So it's like, here's Charlotte, and she's all like, you know, going out as well, and then she's like noticing like, hey, bro, are you feeling alright? And he's like, I just, do you really need to go out tonight? Again, I'm not going to read the entire, like, dialogues and stuff. I'm just going to go for, like, the summary of the story. So anyway, you know, the mother's all like, well, you know, like, anyway, you know, we're going to probably be heading out soon and shit. And it's like, Tristan's like, oh, don't worry, Charlotte, you know, I'll be here to watch our little brother. I mean, you could totally trust me, right? And the parents are like, okay, you know the rules and shit like that, yada yada, and yeah, and then it's like Charlotte's all like, you know, hey bro, do you want me to actually stay and shit? And then later, like, once again, Dominique is all like, oh, don't worry, I can handle this, you know, I can watch him, he'll be fun, we'll be both fine without you anyway. It's like, and Charlotte's like, look, I know that, but, you know, but I can always stay if you want. And it's like, but, you know, Dominique still insists, and it's like, Charlotte's like, okay, well, when we get back, I think we should have a good talk. You know. And then they leave, and Dominique has, like, very suspicious looking eyes. And she's like, well, little bro, how about we get you in bed and see what we can make you feel any better? Oh boy. I don't like where this is going. So anyway, this is where like that was where the extra pages end. Anyway, here's like the original second page before the new added additions and stuff. Again, really damn good artwork, despite it being in black and white. You know, it's pretty cool and shit. So yeah, and well, you know, Dominique is all like acting very thirsty towards her brother. Again, this video is not going to be monetized. Not like I really care about YouTube monetization. So, anyway. But Tristan is all like having second thoughts about this, and but Dominique is all being all like psychotically horny and shit and crap like that. And then he's like, and Tristan is all like I don't wanna do this, sis. Seriously, get up. And it's like, oh god damn it. And then Dominique is like, if you don't have sex with me, then it's like, well, you know, I'm just gonna tell everyone our little secret. Again, roll credits. And then Tristan's all like, no. And then he gets slapped, and oh boy, it's now let's just say this is where things start to get pretty bad or really escalated and shit. And Dominique is all like, you're not the victim here. You're just a little perv. And poor Tristan, look at the look on that guy's face. And well, again, while there's no explicit stuff shown, you can definitely tell by like say the expressions. It's again, let's just say it's it's pretty fucking horrifying. And also the attention to detail to like the freaking toys right there, looking at what is happening. It's almost as if like his whole childhood is being taken from him, kind of like a metaphor for like kind of symbolic, when it comes to, let's just say, rape and crap. And anyway, so yeah, Dominique is all like, did you like it, bro? And then it's like Tristan's like all scared and shit, and Dominique's all threatening him, and it's pretty bad. And then a few hours like pass and shit, and poor Tristan is still traumatized by the event that happened. And so yeah, and Dominique just is like, let's just go in, clean ourselves up. And then it's like Tristan's all like, don't touch me, bitch. And then it's like, oh, what? You didn't have fun? And it's like, bitch, you molested someone. Your own brother, no less. And then she's all like, you should be grateful and crap, trying to, victim blame the victim and shit, i.e. gaslighting them. And of course, Dominique has like a mental breakdown, and she's all like, bro, please forgive me and crap. And this is where Tristan really has enough of her, and is all like, stop it already. No more lies. You can't be doing this. I don't want you to come near me ever again. And then she's all like, Tristan, I want you out of my life. Tristan, stop, please. And this page is really powerful. Like, it's one of the most like memorable parts of this story. I know you're. And then she's all like, I know you're upset, and that's why you're saying these horrible things. But remember, you and I, always together. I love you. You and me, too. Remember. No, Nick. I hate you. I hate you so much. Get out of my life. Tris? You little. And of course, Dominique goes into full abuser mode and punches Tristan and being all like, I'm not gonna take shit from you, you little bastard. And, you know, and then later she sees what she had done, and of course Tristan is all scared and bleeding and shit. And, you know, and traumatized by this whole event. And later on, Dominique is in like the, taking a shower, and don't worry, there's no like, visible like what parts shown and stuff. And she's all like flashbacking, and she's like, how could this have happened? Like, she doesn't want to be alone and stuff. Also, just note to everyone, when someone says no, they mean fucking no. Just had to get that out of the way. But anyway, so she's all like remembering what happened, and Tristan is all like pissed, even more pissed. So anyway, you know, let's just say she starts to, well, pleasure herself by using, Tristan's blood, by using it as, like, say, lube and stuff. I'm not going to show the thing since, again, while there's no, like, graphic parts shown, it's just, it is sort of like, well, But anyway, so she starts to have like her little fun time, and then she tries to later licks like the blood that she put in her like other place in her mouth, and then she realizes, oh my god, and she's like, I'm fucked up. I'm completely fucked up. I'm so fucked up. To quote Shinji Ikari at the end of Evangelion, where Shinji, let's just say, pleasures himself in front of Asuka's comatose body, and of course she regrets her actions and shit, despite what she had done. So yeah. Also, like in the first chapter, or issue, the artist or the author put like little, notes and stuff, i.e., like, as representing like, the character's mindsets, and even have like the commentary thing, and it's pretty interesting. And also, there's a little message at the end of like, the freaking each page, which is kind of nice, where it's like, lets the readers know that the story contains details of sexual abuse, and it does not intend to glorify it. And if you're a victim of sexual abuse from within your family, please contact this link right there. Inversely, if you believe you are feeling dangerous sexual urges, but you don't want to hurt anyone, whether it be a stranger or a loved one, you can use this source right here before things get worse, which is, really helpful and stuff. But all in all, for the first, like, issue, it's a pretty damn good story. Even though it has, like, a very weird origin to it, but hey, I recommend, people to go and read this story. And just note, it's not exactly for the faint of heart. Like, and trust me, it gets way worse later on. And if you think this is bad, buddy, this is only just the tip of the iceberg. And I might review the other 4, like, say, issues and stuff, and let me tell you, it becomes one hell of a ride. Anyway, this is SS Sasuke 125 here, and I just want to say thank you guys for possibly watching this, and I hope to hear back from all of you and possibly the author themselves if they like this review or not. Anyway, I'll be going to bed pretty soon. I'll catch you guys later, and stay safe out there. Peace. Hello everyone, it's me Sasuke 125 here, back again with another episode of Webcomic Reviews. So anyway, I decided to continue doing more of this series, The Secret by Swainart. Anyway, here's the second issue, I guess. First, we take a look at like the cover art for this. Obviously, as you can see, looks really good. A bit better than the last one. Kind of like the cool little like shadow behind it, like, you know, a shadow hangs in like Tristan's mind. Kind of supposed to be all symbolic and shit. Also, like, you know, there's an X on Charlotte, meaning, oh yeah, Dominique obviously wants to kill her and shit. Anyway, so this is like after the whole rape thing, and it's like Tristan wakes up and it's like, you know, Dominique is like, so Tristan, how was last night? Did you sleep well? And then he's like, yeah, I did. Last night was amazing. Were you waiting for me? I was. I mean, I was wondering if you would like to walk to school today. Maybe holding hands. I would love to. Maybe. Actually, this is a flashback. Sorry, I forgot since been a long time since I read this. Oh yeah, when Swainart, like, you know, does like freaking flashbacks, they usually do like this form of like coloring and stuff. Okay, I wouldn't say coloring because there's not really any color because it's supposed to be all manga like and shit. So it's like, you know. So yeah, like to hang out and crap. So anyway, back to like the president stuff. She's all crying again. She's all drunk on the impossible past shit. And Dominique is still angsting about, like, you know, why won't Tristan Senpai or Kohai, since, well, you know, since she's, like, older than him. And, like, why won't he acknowledge my love and shit? I don't know, bitch. Maybe because you raped him? Anyway. So, later on and stuff, she's like asking him, are you really such garbage and shit? Yes, you are. And then later she starts seeing, you know, hallucinations of her sister Charlotte and shit. And then she breaks the damn mirror out of pure rage. And she's all like talking about, you know, the secret and crap. And this is a cool little shot right here with how Dominique breaks the mirror, and it's like you still see a part of Charlotte's image within the mirror itself. Kind of as like some sort of bit of, you know, foreshadowing or just some sort of symbolism, I guess, which makes sense as soon as, you know, as you read more of the story. Anyway, so like Tristan is all like, come on, pick up already, you know. And he's like talking to a friend and stuff about what happened. And later we cut back to like Dominique. She's all like planning to like drug him, I guess. You know, acting like a yandere psycho bitch. Anyway, yeah, another flashback and stuff. And you know, back before she wasn't like, you know, super crazy and shit. And she notices, she goes through like notices a door open like in Tristan's room, and you don't see what's happening there until like, I don't know, the 5th issue. I'm not gonna really spoil that until we get there. And like freaking Tristan's all like, you saw everything. And then Dominique's like, what were you thinking? I don't know. I don't know what came over me. My friend Laverton, he showed me an adult film, and I couldn't get it out of my head. And I was always around you and Charlotte, and you walking around in your underwear. And you both are just so pretty. Oh god. And then it's like Dominique's like, be honest, do you really think Charlotte's prettier than me? And then Tristan's like, what? I don't think she's prettier than you. You're both beautiful. There's no reason that do you like being around me? I mean, it's unbearable to be my brother. Of course not. I love that you're my sister. Are you gonna tell on me? Do you want to touch me? Oh boy. And this is like the beginning of, well, bad things to come and shit. And of course they do the deed and shit, and it's like, you know, pretty graphic and stuff, and also incest ill. Anyway, so back to present day, we see Tristan talking to his friend Lavender and shit about, you know, what happened, and Lavender's like, oh man, dude, you are so lucky. I can't believe you had sex already. Your sister's crazy hot. What was it like? I mean, what did it feel like? Do you feel like a man now? And of course, Lavender is a real piece of shit because, again, his friend talked about, you know, getting raped, and of course he would say this shit because, you know, there's this whole stereotype about how, oh, you know, men can't be raped and shit, even though that's complete and utter bullshit. But yeah, real great job on that emotional support, Lavender. God, what an asshole. I mean, we never actually see what he looks like in this story, but god damn it, I hate to see what he would look like. Then again, since this story was originally based off a Loud House fanfic, I wouldn't be surprised if it was this version of like equivalent of Clyde or something, i.e. an SB and stuff. And then Tristan's all like, yeah, I do. I have to go. And then he's all like, hangs up, and he's all like, this is all my fault. I'm the worst. The fucking worst. I deserve all of this. Having a bit of self-guilt. I mean, that's what happens with a lot of people who survivor's guilt or is victims of trauma and shit. And later on, you know, Dominique is all like, hey bro, I brought you some food and shit. And Tristan's all still pissed with her. Again, I wouldn't blame him, but whatever. And then he's like, and she just leaves the food there. And it cuts back to a little flashback of her literally drugging the damn drinks, and it's like, she's all like acting like the supportive big sister and shit, and then there's this creepy moment right here. And Tristram, I'll be back at 8. Let's spend some time together, okay? And then she leaves. And his room and shit. And then she's all like, this isn't wrong. This is the right thing to do. I didn't start this. It's not my fault. It's someone else's fault. Huh? It's Charlotte's fault. She's the one confusing you. But it's okay. I'll make things how they used to be. And freaking Dominique bites on her lip and shit with her really sharp teeth, by the way. And then she's all like, I'm not gonna let anyone get between us. And uses her blood and crosses her face out of the picture. And thus, that pretty much wraps up, issue 2 of, like, The Secret. All in all, the second issue was pretty good. There's only, like, what? A few more, like, actually 3 more, like, issues left. Then again, or chapters if you want to go be technical about it, but whatever. Anyway, so far, pretty good. Once again, like I said before, I've already read the stuff, but I might as well at least do a little mini review series on this. And yeah, that last few panels over there were just like one of the best parts of the artwork, I tell you. And also, once again, the artist will be credited in the description, and make sure to go check out their other works and stuff. They're really talented and crap. And anyway, this is Sasuke 125 here. Thanks again for watching another review on this channel of like a webcomic. Yeah, sorry it's not a different webcomic. I really like this I just thought, well, hey, might as well at least review another issue of it anyway. So yeah, hope you guys all have a great evening, and I'll see you guys later, I guess. Anyway, signing out. Have a good one.
Well, um, I wasn't expecting this. Oh yeah, anyway, special thanks to Kino Therapy for hearting my comment about me covering like the first 2 issues of Swainart's Secret on his channel. By the way, go check out his video review of like The Secret, the original story, and also the new version that was made by Swainart. Anyway, enjoy this video. Hello everyone, it's me, Sasuke 125 here. Okay, this is different from the usual videos I've done. It's been a while since I last covered this story. Well, last time I've covered it was like almost more than 3 years ago. Holy shit. Anyway, this is like the third issue of the story, and I'm deciding to cover the rest of it because why the hell not? Anyway, so I saw a video by like, therapy about the whole, oh, him covering this, so I thought, well, might as well finish off for what I'd done like years ago and just review the whole damn thing. Anyway, The Secret. So, anyway, we have the cover for it, Charlotte and also Dominique's pictures, and also there's blood on the wall and some cracks. Yeah, this is totally not going to end well. Anyway, so we start off with a little flashback. With Dominique and everything that happened before, or all things went to hell. So yeah, Charlotte's just saying like, oh yeah, this new sleep medication she's taking was like super strong, slept through 2 alarms, and Dominique's all like, you look like shit. I don't know. I mean, I guess that would make sense when you have bedhead anyway. And then she's all like, yeah, you look cute. I mean, come on, Charlotte looks totally cute with that art style. Oh yeah, and then Dominique's like, don't leave your hair in the drain again. And then they bumped into Kristen, bumps into her. And she's like, are you trying to take a peek? Kristen's like, no, of course not. I've heard what you've been doing last night. The walls are pretty thin, so maybe try to be a bit more sure what she meant by that. Anyway, then we cut to present day, and then Tristan's like, kind of weird. That photo, did he click it there to be so happy or normal? Right, I ruined us. Oh, and then he's like, what is he happening? Then later we see Tony just sitting down, and she's like, 22 more minutes. Probably finish eating at 7:30. The label said that the medicine will take 30 minutes, so he should be better by 8. By then, would have calmed down. He just got too. He always feels good when I give him. Of course, he still hasn't figured it out. There. And yeah, obviously Dominique is kind of going crazy. Nothing is there. I should just watch TV and make the lady. Yeah, you're totally broken if you're trying to force yourself on your own damn brother. Yeah, I mean, if that's not broken, then dear God, what is wrong with her? Anyway, flashback to like high school. So there's some like teas from like some other chicks. So yeah, some girls are like, she still hasn't figured out that he's only for her sister. If I was ever clueless, just kill me. Wonder Charlotte never wants to hang with her. I feel like that is just. So yeah, Tristan is all like laying down with the medication, whatever when he spiked in his food. Put that back there? I don't remember doing that. It's all like drugged up and confused. Like, this is happening. If I'm suppose wouldn't be so bad if I meanwhile back with Dominique. God, why is this taking so long? No, I mean because medication has various different effects for different people. It's 4:40. Is he feeling better now? Um, aware of how hard I am to handle. Just pours out of me before I even realize I've been spilling more and more often. Yeah, hard to handle. Lady, you violated him. What the hell? Of course you would be hard to handle and batshit crazy. Like, I exist if he's not near. Would want to deal with someone as fucked up as me? I mean, probably some people, but most would just stay a fuck away, if you ask me. Anyway, flashback to like her ex boyfriend. So yeah, dude's like, anything here to eat? Today's lunch was shit. Well, I mean, cafeteria food isn't necessarily 5-star or 4-star quality food, especially given the people and kids in school nowadays. Well, even homemade stuff is better. And then she's all like confronting him if it was true that he only used her so he can get close to her sister. He's like, of course not. I, I love. And then she gets like, it looks like she's about to kill the dude. And then he's like, okay, you caught me. I thought this would all go so much faster. And then she's like, why would you do this? Why would you make me think that you liked me? I thought you were very cute when I first saw you. Like, you're a definite 8 out of 10. But why settle for an 8 when there's a 10 next next to you? You know? Fucking asshole cheating on his girl. Then again, considering what she later became, yeah, maybe he dodged a bullet. Still, what the hell? And then she sucker punches the man. Yeah. And then he goes on a rant about how fucked up she is and psychotic, crying like a baby. Oh, yeah. And then he's like, you're not even worth it, bitch. And then he leaves. And, oh, yeah. And she's like, Tristan doesn't realize. He said he's going to break my. And it's like 7:50. Not enough. And oh boy. Meanwhile, and then she's like losing control of her own mind and shit, going crazy. Monique, I heard you screaming. Yeah, I'm fine, little bro. No, you're not. You don't have to be fine all the time. You can just tell me what's wrong anytime. Okay, that's actually a pretty good advice. You don't have to be fine all the time, but you can event time you want. And comforting. So Dominique enters the room with Tristan all like the thing that she slipped in is actually use him, all that. She's all like, happening. It's okay. And Dominique turns. He then screams, "What are you doing to him?" That's the end. Yeah, this is where things start to get really crazy after this. So yeah, I'm gonna be covering the other two issues soon. As soon as I'm done, editing and post. Anyway, this is us, the Sasuke 125 here, and thanks again for watching. Catch you all later. Welcome back. Another review. Okay, we're doing the fourth issue. Heard about what happened with Kino Therapy's video on this? Yeah, that kind of is unfortunate. That's taken down because, well, YouTube being YouTube. Anyway, so this is like, again, fourth issue. We got handling, Charlotte's handling, down next to a picture of Kristen and shit. Anyway, where we last left off. So here's a flashback. It feel like, Charlotte and Dominique like talking with each other about what happened with Tristan, know, how they're like concerned and stuff. Dominique, like, that's it? You didn't fight back or call them out? You me? Because, Charlotte's all pacifistic, like, doesn't want to get hurt. So, like, bullshit. He's our little brother. We need to protect him and fight back if need be. I mean, I get both sides. Anyway, so. And then fucking Dominique's like, some sister you are. You need to be brave and stuff. And Tristan shows up and he's fighting. And then Charlotte's like, I'm sorry, Tristan. We're not worried about you. And then it's like, it's okay, Charlotte. Here too. Like, I promise to get angrier next time and I'll fight. Okay, you dorks, don't worry about it, cause I'm going to kick their asses tomorrow morning. Talking about bullies and shit. Anyway, we cut the present day, and Charlotte's just all like, "Stay away from my brother," and it's like, fucking Dominique's all like, "You were supposed to be home like 2 hours later," and shit. And she has like those crazy ass eyes, and then Charlotte's like, "Get away from him, creep," and it's like, "Kristen, are you okay? What happened?" Charlotte, Kristen, why was she touching you like that? And of course, this is when Dominique goes fucking loony again. Oh, I said, get off of him! You first, bitch! Also, I really like the shadow effects, the shading effect right here. It's a nice little build up and stuff. Pretty cool, actually. Anyway, so Charlotte turns around and she's like, like, sis, why the hell are you doing this to our brother? This isn't Alabama. And it's like, I can't believe you've been doing this. And then, and Dominique's eyes turned red, and she's all like, I never did. I've been loving him. We spent, we've been like this for months. 100 days exact. Literally right behind your back. I'm shocked that you couldn't hear us. Or maybe we were just pretend. You were just pretending it wasn't happening. It has to be some sick joke. You can't be serious. Kristen, she's she's not. She's lying. Tell me, she's lying. She didn't. And been have been have been having. Yes, we have, and it's wonderful. No, it isn't. It's illegal. Also, fucking psychotic face right here. I upset. You seem a little jealous. You want to watch? Watch me take our brother's cock. And so, oh god damn it! And then, what, did I? And then fucking Charlotte just beats the shit out of Dominique and stuff. Kristen, get up. We're going. Going anywhere with you. Get off of me. You think you're better? You made me like this. And then she rips off a part of her, earring out, and it's like, oh, that's gotta hurt. And this is why I don't wear earrings, guys. Oh God, Dominique, I'm sorry. Did it in the kitchen. We did it at school, at church, in mom and dad's room. We even did it in your bed. Wow. Even when Dominique is like injured, she's still talking shit into Charlotte. Like, and then Tucker punches her in the left eye. Damn, she's really taking down on Dominique right here. Kristen, come on. We need to get mom and dad now. Is that all? Even with all this, this is all, as far as you would go. You could go, you coward. So stupid. You think that breaking something that is already broken will make things better? I'll show you. I'll show you what rage is. And her eyes are completely like fucked up, and it looks like looks pretty scary right here. Just like, oh boy, she's at her limit right here. And you make it down? I think so. Just hang on to me one step at a time, and we will. Eek. No, don't. And then Charlotte just gets pushed down the stairs. And yeah, not the best way of, no, not a really good injury right here. It's really bad. Yeah, I heard a lot of horror stories about that. And then Dominique's like, you should have killed me. And then Tristan passes out because of the medication. Meanwhile, we see like Charlotte now in a wheelchair, her and Dominique with an iPad. And they're both at the school and shit. And everyone's just all like, oh, I hope Charlotte gets better and stuff. And poor Charlotte's just all like horrified and stuff. And then you see poor Tristan wearing Dominique's collar. Not into the. Yeah, this is a really messed up chapter. And this is where the fourth issue ends. There's one more issue after this, and boy, it gets even more crazier at the end. So yeah, and then you see like Dominique without her eye patch, and yeah, her one of her eyes is like messed up now. So, but yeah, this last frame right here is just horrifying. Just poor Charlotte being in the clutches of Dominique. Also, Dominique now has her things. About to get a hell of a lot worse. Anyway, that's a Sasuke 125 here. I gotta say thanks again for watching this video. Catch you all later. Peace. Hello everyone, it's me, Sasuke 125 here, and we're going to be covering the final part of Swainart's The Secret. Final 5th issue. So, yeah. This has been a really crazy ride. I mean, I know how some of you guys saw, like, the Therapy's video on this. You kind of know where this ends, but for those who haven't, well, we're gonna go over it. Anyway, here it is, the final issue. So, where we last left off, Charlotte got into a fight with her sister, Dominique, who's doing some really messed up shit to her brother. So, yeah. Now Charlotte's all in a wheelchair, powerless to stop abuse. Anyway, so yeah, we don't really get any dialogue here, just some scribbles, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden it's like, hello, good to have you again, Charlotte. Please come in. We get like her therapist or something. Anyway, so all that happened last week. Charlotte, if I may be frank with you, this is your 7th session, so what I can tell, you haven't told me that have been bothering you. Kyle is quite really scary. Okay, so they're talking about how like she hasn't been doing all that well, drowning herself in her own sleep magic medication despite her warnings. Barely speak, barely eat. You don't have friends, or worse, getting in a fight with your sister. It's gotten real bad. Yeah, shit has gone really creepy. And it's gotten to a point where it's also tormenting. Oh yeah, it's pretty messed up. Oh god. And hearing her brother being, well, tormented by Meek is definitely not helping her mental. So anyway, she's all like describing how bad things are. I'm messing her up. She's just trying to describe the abuse, but in a way that isn't obvious. But I can tell that the doctor character or therapist is all like, yeah, very concerned with her. Pretty bad. Anyway, so so they're like talking a bit, and then the person asks, "Give your sister for all the shit that she did." So it's like, I don't have to. Forgiveness is your not Of course, you're not obligated to forgive people, which really makes sense. Someone screwed you over, you're not expecting. I'll relate to that. Anyway, so Charlotte breaks down that she she got into a fight because she did everything wrong and so afraid. Such a coward. Fucking coward. How am I supposed to be brave? That's the thing about, being brave. It's not about, like, the thing with bravery is that, know, you don't have to be fearless to be brave. Sometimes being brave is knowing that you have fear, still attempt to do the right thing, which is kind of deep. This is why I like characters like Shinji Ikari. Like, sure, Shinji isn't exactly the most traditionally brave or masculine character, but the fact that he still manages to push himself forward and try to save the day is at least something to consider. And let's be honest, again, I've said this a lot. Most people, realistically, if they were in Shinji's position, I think they would run away, actually, and wouldn't blame them. But hey, again, much like also like when it comes to war and PTSD, I bet a lot of those soldiers who fought in like say Vietnam and do they probably were scared shitless as well. It's not like they were 100% brave, like they weren't afraid of shit, but hey, what do I know, right? Anyway, so we're back with Dominique, torturing Kristen and shit, acting all psychotic and underage, and also she has like a split tongue, right? I don't know. I probably wouldn't want to get my tongues. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind if people do like piercings and shit, but me personally, I'm not a big. I draw the line for me personally. Anyway, so and then we got to like Charlotte showing up to save her brother, finally confronting Dominique. And Dominique is about to go cut a bitch with her knife and shit. But then, Payback's a bitch because apparently Charlotte must have snuck some sort of drugs in her, and Dominique just drops her knife. So, and this is the part in the story where things get really bad. This is the twist itself. Anyway, I'm gonna read this. Whatever he did, he didn't deserve this. He doesn't deserve to be treated like this. He doesn't. Charlotte, stop. Um, Kristen, why? Can't you see she's brainwashing you, making you think don't? You should be happy. You should be safe. Be Stop it. You don't know. You don't know how awful I am. Let's just tell her. Tell her so she sees us for the pigs we are. Then she'll get why we belong together. Oh, please don't. I can't. I don't want her to know what I did. Stopping getting worse. Don't understand. Nice talking to you. No, thank you. No sleep. Good sleep through a hurricane. And this is where things get really fucked. I got up one night, heard noises coming. Tristan. I've been taking care. And when I first read that part, I was incredibly shocked by it. I mean, I knew there was a dark secret at the end of this story. I didn't think it would be like this. I mean, I don't think most people who read this story thought it was going to end up like it. Definitely is one of the most shocking moments webcomic hit. I mean, this is almost as shocking end of the movie Seven. Yeah, maybe not that well. Still, I was agape when I saw that. Like, it was, it was fucking horrifying. And Charlotte's reaction, like the audience, her denial, processing everything that she. Kristen, and no, does this not mean that Dominique is like, innocent in all this? She did do a lot of fucked up things. And I don't want to hear in the comments that, oh, Dominique did nothing wrong, because he did do the right thing to do. How am I supposed to react learning that I was. I don't even remember it. He hadn't told me. I found out. But Tristan told me. So disgusted, empty. Can I look at him again? Right? Both just pigs? Should I leave them? Leave Neek to keep doing what she's doing? Let my let my little brother keep suffering what he deserves? And that question really hits deep. Like, both parties, not Charlotte, excluding Charlotte, both Tristan and Neek are both, not exactly good people. I think most people, I can tell if I was in Charlotte's position, I probably would have walked away. Maybe a lot of people, or maybe that's a discussion we'll have if possible. Play a lot the process. It was, but when I think about how you suffered, it's not what I want. I want you to better, do better. So that is why I choose to give you. And here's the next. Sorry, sure. So sorry I ever hurt you. I love you. I'm gonna make sure you get help. Get help. And how does Dominique react? I would Can't, can't, for, just forgive him. Can't have him. Can't take him. Leave us alone. Selfish bitch. You had to take everything. Everything from me. Hey, stop it. Get off of her. You're killing her. Come in our lives. You don't deserve to be in our family. You. One different change of heart. Of course, can't tell everyone what actually. Or else, what would happen to poor Tristan? Really want that whole world to know that the rapist and he's. But whatever I decide to tell, I'll play along. Tristan will see a doctor. Doctor will all get the help we need. Sorry for the that I want you to know that I truly love you. All that I am. I'll do whatever you. Tristan is still processing what happened. As long as I get this, thus, all conflict was resolved. Not with final battle. Uncomfortable. Big deal. So, then we got to the therapist again. She's this time she's talking with Nick about like some stuff about the future. This very crazy. This last frame, I'll have us. He has an unique. There's some still. It's definitely worth it. All 5 chapters. I would definitely. My whole honest score on this story, I give it a 9 out of 10. The artwork is really good overall. The story is actually pretty well written. Quite, quite a dark ending, if you ask me. And yeah, I have nothing really else to say. Just other than that, go check out Swainart's artwork. You know, they have some really cool stuff in other comics that hopefully aren't as messed up as what we see here. Still,
I will have to say though, like as far as my favorite issue of the story, I would have to say at least I would say at least issue 4. But all in all, they were all really good reads. Anyway, this is S Sasuke 125 here, and I want to say thank you all for joining me in discussion, and I hope to do more webcomic reviews of other kinds of. Sorry if this first, series I went over didn't exactly have the best ending, but hey, when it comes to life, not everything will have a golden, but not everything has to be like complete doom and gloom either. Anyway, thank you all, and I wish you all a good night. Later. Peace.